Edition of From Our Own Correspondent. I'm Pascal Harter. The producer was Polly Hope, and we will be back with more stories of the real lives behind the news headlines next weekend here on the BBC World Service.
Magandang umaga, good morning, Manitoba. Faith Fundal here in Studio 15 at Portage and Spence. This is Information Radio on CBC Radio 1, 89.3 FM, 990 AM, and everywhere on the CBC Listen app. I'm in for Marcy Marcusa. We're here with our morning live team. We'll have a lot coming on the program here. First, though, let's head to our CBC Winnipeg local news desk. And Heather Wells joining us now with a look at news headlines. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, witnesses believe Winnipeg police used too much force while trying to restrain a man over the weekend. It happened early Saturday, just after midnight. Winnipeg Police Chief Danny Smythe says officers were called to a Crestview apartment by the man's girlfriend who said he was intoxicated. The 35-year-old man then lost responsiveness, went unconscious, and has since died. We're going to tell you what happened coming up. As well, the province's largest school division is struggling with chronic absenteeism, but one organization is working to get students back in class. Inner City Youth Alive works with hundreds of young people, many who don't go to school regularly, if at all. We'll hear that story as well in our next local news at 6:30.
All right, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
It's Heather Wells from your CBC Winnipeg local news desk. We are expecting sun and cloud today for Winnipeg, becoming cloudy near noon with a slight chance of flurries or rain showers this afternoon. Some fog patches dissipating as well as the day progresses. Expecting the wind to become northwest, gusting to 50 early today, and a temperature high of 2 degrees, so it's going to be messy as the day progresses if that snow hasn't already melted. We'll give you a full look at your weather forecast coming up on the program here. And stay tuned because we're also going to hear more about what happened last night where hundreds gathered to remember a Winnipeg restaurant owner who died. We'll take you to that vigil. Also coming up, he is a Winnipeg teen who quickly became Canada's best shot putter in his age class. But his real strength is how he handles the stress of being the best. We're going to hear his story coming up later on Information Radio on CBC Radio 1, 89.3 FM, 990 AM, and everywhere on the CBC Listen app. We'll also talk more about how this Friday, can you believe it, marks Groundhog Day, a time many of us associate with the midpoint of winter. We'll hear from an expert about that and how to get unstuck if you're feeling meh after World Report. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Today on Q with Tom Power.
From his early days as the frontman of Hootie and the Blowfish to his successful transition into country music, Darius Rucker drops by for a career-spanning conversation. He talks about his new album, Carolyn's Boy, and how he feels that one of his songs is banned. That's coming up on Q, followed by Commotion with Elamine Abdel Mahmoud on CBC Radio 1, the CBC Listen app, and everywhere you get your podcasts.
This is World Report. Good morning. I'm Marcia Young. The holidays are over for federal politicians. The House of Commons resumes sitting this morning. Affordability is expected to be the top issues for MPs heading into the spring session. Recent polls suggest the opposition Conservatives are holding a strong lead over the Liberals. Kate McKenna has a preview of what's on the agenda.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre goes into the sitting with a sharp focus on making life more affordable.
Axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau agrees lowering costs is the number one issue.
We're there in the communities. We're there listening to people, understanding their frustrations.
But that's about the only thing they agree on. Both spent the days before the return of the House taking shots at each other.
Pierre Poilievre is focused on bringing his party further to the right, while we are focused on meeting Canadians where they are.
It's a very long way from home in only 8 years of Trudeau. So it's easy to forget how good things were and how much better they can be.
Poilievre goes into this sitting with his party riding high in the polls.
You've got a population that's feeling pretty sour about the direction of the country.
David Coletto is the CEO of Abacus Data.
One of the things we noticed in our most recent survey is those who want a change in government and feel comfortable with the alternative has hit an all-time high.
But an election could be more than a year away. And in the interim, the Liberals are hoping to win back support. In the coming weeks, lawmakers will be debating bills, including funding national child care, banning replacement workers, and an opposition proposal to create a carbon tax carve-out for some farmers. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Iran says it is not linked to Sunday's fatal drone strike on U.S. troops. 3 American soldiers were killed in the attack at a base in Jordan. The White House is vowing retribution on what it says is an Iran-backed militia. The CBC's Richard Madden is following this story from Washington. Richard, what might a U.S. response look like?
Yeah, those are the big questions. When will it happen? How big will it be? And if this fallout might push the U.S. deeper into the regional war. President Joe Biden has vowed retaliation at a time and manner of his choosing, so he now faces a very serious decision how severe the American response will be. Pentagon officials say a drone